Welcome back to our tutorial on the Borderland homeworlds. So this one, again, we're going to just look at green world, and again, all three color worlds are identical, only the eternal battleground looks very different than everything else. So we're going to just do this tutorial based on the green world. I will use this little red cursor thing, and we're going to start at the Citadel. The Citadel is the green player's home base. They have a sewer gates that lead to the other battleground. The Borderlands and the Eternal Battlegrounds, and also one to Lion's Arch. There's also various vendors all over the base, and I just want to really point out one specific vendor that is really important, at least to me, and it is the Siege Master vendor. If you notice on this map, you will see this little heart thing over here. Let me zoom in for you. The heart is actually a broken heart, and that's actually the armor vendor. The armor vendor will repair your armor when you're damaged in PvP combat. After you take like 5 deaths or downs, your armor starts degrading, and you come over here and fix it. This little map book is the commander. If you want a commander vendor, if you want to upgrade your character to a commander, you pay 3 gold. You get the commander status if you open the book and use it. But usually right next to the commander is the siege weapon master. He is usually right here, or if you go on to the other side of the map, right over here. The border keeps, the red and blue border keeps, also has a siege weapon masters. You usually want to visit one of these guys. It burns a lot of silver, I understand, but you might want to pick up a ram, or trebuchet might be really big, or an arrow card or something, so you could be more effective in the open world PvP. Another note is the banks are usually right over here, along with the auction house, and I think the crafting vendors are right over here. And this is pretty much it for your Green Citadel. Another note I want you guys to know is that the Green Citadel is protected by these cliff sides. And let me just activate them really quick so you can see the point of no return. So I just highlighted all these little blue things for you here. Once you run past these points, you cannot climb back up them. You have to go through these gates to come back into your base. And please also note that you should probably follow these, and let me draw it out so it's easier to see. You might want to follow these paths, these road paths. Otherwise, you might fall to your death. Like, a lot of players come over here and they fall to their death. Sometimes you might know what you're doing and you won't fall to your death, but if you have 40 people following you, they will fall to their death. So sometimes it's just wiser, come down these stairs, maybe hop the corner, jump down here, and drop down past the point of no return in order to get into like wherever else you're going. Otherwise, you might fall to your death, kill yourself, kill your teammates, make a lot of enemies on your team. Not good, right? So yeah, take the paths if you can. So what we're going to look at is some of the other areas here. We're going to look at the Sunny Hill Keep, which is right over here in this area. Sunny Hill Tower. My bad. Sunny Hill Tower is a mere tower, and it's right here. And I'll go a little bit into tower offense right now and tower defense. Towers are much smaller structures. They have one gate, and in their one gate, they can only once the one gate is down, players can then rush up and kill the the tower lord. So usually the gate on this map is right over here. And once you take that down, you rush in. There's a ramp that goes straight up. There's also a side ramp that comes this way. The tower lord usually has 2 guards with them. There's usually 2 guards out here also, and maybe an archer up here. Sometimes the defenders will have hot oil set up on this spot, and they'll pour oil down on the players. Oil and cannons and other features can be upgraded at this quartermaster guy who's usually over here. And what you could do is improve the quality of your tower using supply and gold and all that kind of stuff. If you're defending, one thing you want to do is reinforce the gate on your tower or on your keeps, because that way it's almost like 3, 4, 5 times harder to break down the gate versus a unreinforced gate. If I come up to a gate and I see it's reinforced, I will almost always want people to drop 1 or 2 ramps to bash it down. Otherwise, if it's just a regular wall, it's undefended, we can melee it down or range attack it down, and it should go down fairly quick. The Keep Lord, I've heard it takes 3 players minimum to take him down, which I thought was really nuts. In my group, I think I had 4 to 6 players that took him down, and I don't know what the minimum is, but I would say roughly 5 to 10 players could take down the Keep Lord and siege a keep. So I guess different players have different experiences. I probably was in a sucky group, so it took us a little bit more time to kill these players off. Now, a little bit about siege defense. You're going to say, so why you talk about offense, but what about defense? Besides the hot oil, you're going to have supply. Supply will be right here at the supply depot on in your keep, next to the quartermaster, which you could use to upgrade. Towers can hold up to 100 supply, not unupgraded. If you upgrade it, it can hold a little bit more. Supply can be used to build your hot oil. You could build arrow carts in your keep or tower. You could build them basically wherever you want to drop them on the map. So just up to you where you want to put them. But you might want to put them out of range. Like if you put it right on the edge here, people might be able to destroy it. But if you pull it a little bit more back, like put it right here inside, you could still lob shots over and take out opposing forces out here. And that's the really good use of the supply is you could build siege weapons, you could repair the door while it's getting knocked down. And so if you have a reinforced door, even a regular door, as the enemies are like knocking and banging on your door, you can just run over here, grab supply, and run back and try to fix your wall. Now, if you know your keep is going to get whacked by the enemy players, you're going to take it over. If you have 100 supply inside your keep, and you don't want them to take it over, because if they take it over, they will get all 100 supply. So one thing you can do is just take the supply and burn it. Burn it against the door by repairing the door. And just let the 100 supply dwindle down to 0. Because it'll stall for time, for one. And it will also deny the enemies that supply. If that makes any sense to you at all. It makes sense to me. So, moving on. We are going to look at the Faith Leap Cavern, Faith Leap Supply Camp right here on the side. So right over here is Faith Leap Supply Camp. Again, the supply camps generate. They generate supply, and they send out these Doliac caravans. Sorry, this is a really horrendous drawing. That will travel all the way to a keep door. Once they get to the keep door, they'll give the keep 70 supply. And so that's what these supply places do. Now, if you ever played World of Warcraft's Arathi Basin, the Faith Leap Supply Camp is very similar to the mines. As a player, you could, I would strongly recommend taking the path down this way. And if you want to, you could just kind of slide your way down, and you're here at the supply camp. Supply camps, just letting you know, have 1 veteran supervisor, 2 guards. I should not write this out using this type thing, and 1 archer. The veteran veteran supervisor usually is much tougher. He has like this massive AoE high damage attack. You just want to watch for his animation and avoid it. The 2 guards are a melee class, but they throw bolas to immobilize you. Their melees hurt like hell, and again, watch for their animations and avoid them. Archers, ranged, can take them down pretty quick with melee attacks. At least as a thief, I could do that. We were able to take down a supply camp that was not upgraded with a minimum of 4 players. When we had 3, we had a really hard time. Other players had successfully defeated supply camps and took them over with 3 players. And basically, you kill the guards, you stand there, and next thing you know, the supply camp becomes your camp. And there's supply that pops up, the Doliacs turn your color, and they move around. And so, very basic tower offense and defense. Very basic level, we covered it. How to use supply to burn through it. and supply camps and how easy or how hard it is to take out a supply camp. Towers, we had a minimum of like 6 players we could take it out. Some players have done it with less, like 4. Someone claimed that they took out a tower commander with 3 players. So I don't really know. Just another note, we're going to cover a little bit of siege that you could do from this side of the map on our next tutorial.